Please welcome onto the show hometown hero and one of the engineers behind the revival of Pitt basketball, Nelly Cummings. Nelly, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you guys.
Oh no, thank you for joining us, and thank you again for making us care so much about Pitt basketball. It was such a refreshing feeling seeing the Pete hopping, you know, appointment viewing every game, and you were a big part of that.
I appreciate that, man. That was the plan, so I'm glad we were able to execute that for sure.
Now, for the people who aren't watching the video, Nelly's actually in the legendary Midland Gym right now. You can hear the squeaks in the background. What's going on down there right now, Nelly?
Right now, my little brother's in here with my dad getting a really, really intense workout in right now. I just left the workout, so I'm glad I got a chance to take a break.
Love to hear it. That's the future of Pitt basketball, over there on the court.
That's the future right there, man. Looking better, looking good as ever.
So what's the biggest difference between your game and his game?
The biggest difference is definitely just the fact that he'll get down the lane and dunk on you. I'm not really trying to dunk on you. I might get a little finesse layup or something, but my brother's trying to dunk on you every single time. That's the biggest difference.
I think we've seen a few Twitter clips of him getting way up there.
Yeah, man. That's what he does. It's crazy. I won't jump with him, that's for sure.
I can't imagine, like, none of us can. Well, actually, Dylan can dunk, but like I can't dunk.
In my prime.
In your prime, being able to dunk on your brother is like the biggest trump card ever. It has to be, right? Like, I'd never let my brothers live it down.
My brother will never experience that, so he won't get that story.
When's the last time you two played one-on-one?
It's probably been some years. I mean, really, when we work out, we try to just get better every day. I try not to give him too much competition. I don't want to hurt his feelings or anything.
It's like, iron sharpens iron, but he's never played in the NCAA tournament, so I imagine you have a little bit more guts than he does when it comes to things going down the line.
For sure, I've got that older brother advantage. You know how that is. So
yeah.
Talk to him, make him miss a couple shots.
Get a few benefit of the doubt on the foul calls too. Yep.
For sure.
Older brother's the referee.
Every foul is my call.
Mm-hmm.
Little brothers never get the touch fouls. We definitely, get the bad end of the home cooking.
Always.
So your brother, and we'll talk about Brandon. He's the future of Pitt basketball, but we'd love if we can take a pleasant little stroll down the past year and look in the past a little bit. Have you had the opportunity to kind of step back and, soak up what a special season this past winter was?
Yeah, man. I mean, when we were in the midst of the season, it was hard to really capture what we were doing. But now that it's officially over and highlight tapes are coming out and getting a chance to just sit around and watch some of the old clips, it's really special what we did. Like, it's a special season. I think people in Pittsburgh will remember forever.
Oh, I know we certainly will.
For sure.
Yeah, and you said in the offseason when you committed to Pitt that your goal was bring winning back to Pitt. What did that look like for you before the season? Was that taking them back to the tournament? Was that just being competitive in the ACC again? What was in your mind when you said, I want to bring it back to Pittsburgh?
So what was in my mind, I had just come off an NCAA tournament game. So most importantly, I wanted us to experience that. I wanted to get Pittsburgh back to the NCAA tournament because I knew how special that was and how much enjoyment, how much excitement that brought to everybody. And more importantly than that, just winning. I just wanted to win a lot of games, man. I wanted to compete for a championship, be in position to, play in big games and come March. And I think we did that, and it was just so special just for all of us to experience that.
Was there a point during the year or since you committed where you realized you might have a chance to be really good? I know as fans, we knew Nelly Cummings, but a lot of these other transfers come in, we didn't know much about them. Was there a moment whenever you realized that this could be a special season?
So I'll tell you like this. I mean, me personally, I'm a type of guy who likes to speak things up, speak things into existence. So when I first got here, I started believing that as soon as I really committed. Like, it didn't matter who we got. I felt like what I brought to the table and what I was going to be able to do with these guys was going to be special no matter what. So I always believed that. But after we had a rough start to the season, I think the Northwestern game was the game for everybody that kind of clicked for us all. And we realized that all that stuff that we had spoke up and talked about, it could come true. I think that was the turning point for us.
So what was it about that Northwestern game that kind of galvanized you guys to say, oh, this is a legitimate basketball team and we can take this as far as we want?
I think it was the style of play we had. I mean, that game in particular was one of the first games where we had got a little chippy in warm-ups with other guys. We had said some things, and it kind of allowed us to unite around each other and fight for each other. It was the first game that we really, really fought for each other. It wasn't about anything besides that. I mean, having new transfers and new guys, it was going to be hard to adjust regardless. So a lot of those early losses was a product of that. But once we got to that Northwestern game, we really rallied around fighting for each other, and we kind of built our identity around that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, you fought for each other, but that game wasn't much of a two-sided fight. You blew them out.
Right, but they were a good team. I mean, for us to do that, to walk into their arena and blow them out, they had just come off of, I think, playing Auburn to the wire, I think, right before that game. They're a really good team. I mean, they showed out throughout the rest of the season, but that game, it kind of just, it clicked for us. Everybody was making shots. Everybody was excited for each other, and it was just one of those games.
That's something we noticed early on. I know the home opener wasn't a big crowd, but me and Dylan were there. We noticed all the guys getting hype on the bench.
Right.
Blake and Greg were shooting arrows into the crowd. How fun was it to play with this group? It seems like you brought a lot of energy.
Man, that was the most fun season of basketball I've ever had in my life. Like, I played a lot of basketball games. I played on a lot of different teams. I've been a part of a lot of different programs, but this year at Pitt, the hometown, the excitement we played with, the joy that everybody in the stands always had, like, it was just a special time. Like, I'm actually very upset that the season's over. I want another year.
We'd love to have you for another year.
I love it too, man.
They might need a 3-point shooter on the team next year. Can we get you like a fake mustache and
That's what I was thinking.
forge a birth certificate? Yeah. So it's become pretty well known that this team really gelled not only on the court but off the court, and that was so paramount to the team's success. What do you attribute the team's closeness to? Like, how did you guys build that rapport with each other so quickly?
I think it was the desperation we had, man. I think knowing the situation we were in, everybody knew it was at stake. Like, we all wanted to win really, really bad, and I think we all understood what was needed to happen. Like, all of us older guys, we've been a part of winning before, so we knew that if you don't have a team that really values each other, really cares for each other, really loves each other, it's going to show. And I think on the flip side of that, if you really do love each other and you really care about each other and you put the time and effort in to building relationships, when the game gets close, you know, you have plays that go your way because that real genuine love thing that we had.
Oh, come on in, man.
We've got a guest hopping into the show right now. This is the first time ever. We've got Nelly Cummings joining, older brother Nelly. What's up, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, getting this work in.
Look good in that Pitt script shirt.
Yeah, you like it? You see it?
Yeah, we heard your dad's really pushing you today. How you feeling?
I'm used to it. Trust me.
Biba, I wanted to ask you, I was actually going to ask Nelly this, but you're both here. I was going to ask, how much did Nelly have to sell you on coming to Pitt? Was it something that he was like telling you every day, like, oh, this is a great program, it's a great environment? Or did you just see what was going on and be like, yeah, I want to be a part of that?
I mean, it was kind of a mixture of both. My decision was really made on a lot of what Coach Capel told me. And, you know, he went out there and executed what he told me, along with my brother advocating the school and wanting me to get there. So I'd say it's a little bit of both.
Nelly, would you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I didn't have to do much selling. If you come to Pitt, you see the nice equipment we got, all the nice stuff we got. And when you get to Pitt rocking like we got it rocking, I mean, what else? Why else wouldn't you want to come to Pitt, right?
Yeah, I'm sure those packed Peterson Event Center visits had a big impact on your decision.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. That energy was crazy in there.
So what kind of stuff has your brother told you about, you know, getting prepared to play in Jeff Capel's system? Like, have you guys sat down and done some X's and O's, or is it just pretty general?
He's trying to get me to become more of a point guard, just, you know, making my reads, you know, the things I'm going to have to work on regardless. But most importantly, he just wants me to play with a whole bunch of heart and intensity. He just wants me to go out there and just lay it all on the floor because, you know, that'll always get you minutes wherever you go.
Absolutely. He also told us that he has never tried to go up with you driving the lane. How badly do you want to yam on your older brother?
He knows. He knows.
Nelly, you can push him out of the screen if you want after that one. Get back to the workout, Viva. But now we appreciate your feature here, but you got to get back to work. Or
Yeah, I gotta get back to work.
Well, we appreciate
you
it.
hopping on. We'll get you on for your own episode.
Yeah.
All right,
And Nelly can crash that one too.
For sure.
Attention anyone looking for a job or to further their education. Our sponsor, Haddad Accelerated Delivery, will now be offering a partial tuition reimbursement plan on top of its competitive pay, healthcare and 401k, employee assistance program, and referral payouts. So if you or someone you know is dependable, hardworking, and safety-minded, this is the job for you.
Be a part of a company that will encourage self-ownership and award bonuses based on exceptional safety and delivery efforts. This is the ideal gig for individuals seeking full-time work or students interested in making some pretty good money during breaks. Text HADD to 464-646 to apply. That's HADD to 464-646. For a job that's the total package, get it? Because it's deliveries. Haddad Accelerated Delivery is the place for you.
Awesome.
First time ever.
Yeah, first double feature.
You got the Cummings boys here. It's first time.
Yeah, the first family of Pitt basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Capels would take too well to that, but yeah.
They didn't play.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
Coaches.
we have the Cummings brothers, the Capel brothers, the Diaz Grahams. I think we got a good thing going with the
We do
family
got a lot of
members.
brothers, don't we?
Yeah, we kind of do.
I didn't realize that.
Maybe there's something to it.
It
Pitt
is.
basketball's a family.
That's a family.
It's a family affair, yeah.
It's a family, man.
Print the shirts. Well, that's a pretty good transition to a question we had written down. Just simply, what was your first impression of the Twins?
So when they had first got here, honestly, I couldn't tell them apart. It took me a long time.
We couldn't either.
It was so hard. Like, I was calling the wrong name every other day. It was tough, but I mean, as far as basketball players go, they're super athletic, super skilled, super smart players. And just as people, they're even better people than they are basketball players, man. Like, they can brighten up a whole room just when they walk in. Obviously, they're 7 foot, so you got to pay attention to them. But their smile, man, it's contagious. Their energy's contagious. And I'm glad I know those guys, man.
Yeah, we're also glad that you know them because they came in very clutch
They did.
in March.
That bounce pass dunk, man.
That was so cool.
It was. I couldn't contain my emotions when that happened. I just lost it.
Did you get to was Kevin Harlan on the call? Who was it? Did you hear the call that they made on that? The Oh Brother? That was sweet.
It was.
That was great. Do you ever get to go back and watch any of the tournament games and see the huge production that's made of them?
I do. Once the season ended, I gave myself a week where I literally didn't even like basketball because we had just lost, and I just really didn't want to see a basketball, look at a basketball or anything. But after that, I got a chance to really go back and see what we did and watch the games, hear the calls, see the emotions. I'm so upset that the season's over. I'll go back and watch games and watch fans' reactions. I just want to be a part of it so bad again. I miss playing, so it was such a fun season. I definitely go back and watch a lot of games though.
I mean, it happened so fast. I'm sure it was hard for you to soak it all in. You had a first four game that came down to a last-second shot. You were up 20 in the first 5-6 minutes in the first real round. How crazy was March?
It was crazy. There was so much that happened in March.
Obviously crazy, but
oh man, when it
Call
ended,
it madness for a reason.
March Madness. That's what it was. When it all ended, I didn't realize how much time had passed. I didn't know what day it was. I was just going through it. I'm like, what's today? We lost? What happened? Did we play again? I didn't even know. So it happened so fast, man. It was so much emotions, and it was like a roller coaster too, because certain emotions, I've never felt a heart drop like that March, the first four shot when he had the last shot for the buzzer. I've never felt my heart drop more in my entire life. And then we won. I didn't even know how to celebrate. I had thought we lost already. I'm like, oh my God, he has a wide open shot. And then we go and we beat Iowa State, and we kind of blew them out. And just that, it felt so good to get that win. I had never won a game in March Madness, so it just meant so much to us, our program, the team, the organization, everybody, man. And as soon as it ended, everybody was just like, oh wow, it's really over. We'll never play for Pitt again. And it sucked, man. It really did suck how it ended so fast.
How did you guys handle that as a team in the locker room? Like, obviously, March is tough because you got to do all this media, all the press conference. You guys got to go to the podium. But was there a chance where you guys were able to sit together during that trip, maybe on the ride home, and just really maybe reminisce a little bit?
Honestly, that first day when we lost, it wasn't a lot of reminiscing. It was more crying. We were all just really upset. Like, it was like, oh man, like hugging each other, realizing we will never play again together. Like, unless our pro careers run into each other at some point, like we may never play on the same court again. So like it hurt. That day it was a lot of emotions. But by the time we had got back, we all kind of linked up, spent some time together, watched a couple of the games, and just had some fun. And that kind of felt good to do that for sure.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, even as fans, I mean, obviously, we're not nearly as emotionally, physically, mentally invested as you guys, all the hours you put in. But like, we watched this team all year, and I think everyone in the Pitt community really, I mean, felt this way about this team. It's like we felt like we were a part of it because of how much you guys played together and how much it meant for Pitt basketball to be back. And I think for us, like watching that last game, watching the final buzzer go off and like knowing the season was over, I know for me and a lot of the guys like we were watching the game with, we were just kind of sat there and like, you know what, we just got to appreciate what this season was. Because I know for you guys, like it's hard to do that in the moment, but for us, it was like these guys gave us something that Pittsburgh hasn't had in a long time.
Right.
So
Man.
Yeah, like we appreciate you guys, and I know it sounds corny on here on this podcast where we're joking around, but man, like Pitt basketball means so much to so many people in Pittsburgh. Like, yeah, you guys should be very proud of yourselves. I know you are, but you definitely deserve that.
Thank you, man. We definitely put on for the city, man. It was fun.
I imagine it was pretty rewarding watching the Pete get a little bit more packed every single game, twice a week. How much mind do you guys pay to that as players? I imagine, there's a symbiotic relationship. You feed into it, it feeds into you.
Got a story for you. So first game of the season, me and Greg, that's like really my best friend on the team. We spent a lot of the time together, and we at Pitt, we have the brick by brick principle we always talk about with Coach Capel. So we kind of thought of it as laying bricks, laying the foundation. Our first game, like you guys said, it wasn't a lot of people there. So me and Greg, we used to always hold each other before the game. We just talk about it like, this is our first brick we gotta lay. Let's go win this game, lay the foundation. It's gonna get better. And then slowly by slowly, we kept laying bricks. And I think it was just so surreal and special for senior night to go out the way it went. That Syracuse crowd was so electric. Like, it was so magical. Fish scored. Everybody got a chance to do what they wanted to do. Like, it just was like we had built our bricks and we had our house at the end. That's what we said at the end. Like, we built our bricks and we left our house here. Like, we did this. It felt so good, man. Like, it was surreal. Like, to see the Pete literally just brick by brick until the last game, it just all comes together like that.
You couldn't write it up any better if it was a movie. I mean, from the start of the season, you gave us some hope, and then by senior day, there wasn't an empty seat in the house.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and all the credit to you guys. You really built the house. I love that metaphor, by the way. That one's going to get some play with us. The only issue, with this season ending, other than it's over and all we have is the memories. But now I'm getting sentimental. The issue with this team is that so many of the transfers were in their final year of eligibility, and it feels a little bit like we are starting over fresh next year. How do you think the program is going to be able to maintain this momentum you guys have created without many of the important pieces that were a part of it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think hinting towards what I just talked about with the building the house, I think that was our job, was to build this house up. So now when kids and transfers come in, they have a home and they have a style, they have a way to play, something that wins here in Pittsburgh. Like, everybody knows now when you come to Pitt, if you play tough, you play together, you play hard, you can get to the tournament and make some noise. That can happen. Like, before when we got here, there wasn't really a mold. We didn't know how really to play it because before us, there was nobody who really did it. And obviously for some years. So I think going forward, because it just happened, guys have something to play towards. They know that there's a style that works here in Pittsburgh. You can get these fans behind you if you play tough. So I think we're in great hands. I mean, the coaches, they have been great coaches all along. They've had some bad situations. And I think this year kind of showed that what they can do with a a group of players that really like each other, really value winning and want to win at a high level. Because if you want to do that, Pittsburgh's a place to be. I think a lot of guys are going to see that and know that now.
Oof, chills. Love it. Love it. Has your brother's part of that future? Has he gotten the opportunity to hang out with some of the guys, through you that are already on the team and that are coming back and build a rapport, maybe play a little?
Yep, we definitely had some opportunities to do that. I mean, we've had some workouts. Me and my brother work out all the time. So if the twins are somewhere in the gym, we might come do a couple ball screens or something like that, something slight, just so we can get used to them, because that's the future right there, man. In a couple years, those twins, they're gonna be the real deal. My brother's gonna be here. He's gonna be the real deal. It's gonna be fun.
If your brother could develop a really nice pick and roll with the twins before even really setting foot on campus, I don't think anything could ever excite me more.
The ACC is not ready for that. I can promise you.
No. So Nelly, you are graduating. What is next for you? What is next for your career, both personally and professionally?
Yeah, so upon graduation, I actually just signed with my agency yesterday. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I got that step out of the way. That was the next step. So now they're pursuing opportunities for me professionally while I train as hard as I can and stay ready for whatever opportunity comes around. But I should be getting some NBA workouts this summer, hopefully get into the summer league and try to get my foot in the door with the NBA team and show them what I could bring to their program.
That'd be a little bit cool. Yeah. Professional basketball.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a fun life. I mean, I don't know how much longer I'll play, probably 10 years, I can say. So I'm going to try to make as much money as I can while I'm playing and have some fun. And hopefully I can have another brotherhood like Pitt. I probably won't get it, but can try, right?
Have you considered getting into coaching after your playing career? You seem to really have the demeanor and the mindset for it.
Yeah, I think about it a lot. I'm not 100% sure I'm sold on it yet, because I know it's probably a hard job. Obviously, the timing doesn't change. Like, it's the same timing I'm used to now. So, like, I don't know if I'm going to want to stay in basketball after I'm done playing. 10 more years, I don't know. I might be burnt out with basketball, but we'll see. If I do want to coach, hopefully Pitt would love to have me back, because I would love nothing more than that, to come home and coach. That would be nice.
They'd be wise to give you an offer, Nelly.
They would, right? That's what I would say, too. What do we know, though, right?
We let Brandon Knight get away. We cannot let Nelly Cummings get away.
Yeah. Maybe get us both back at the same time. You never know.
Now, don't you get me too excited.
Hey, Panther Nation. Have you ever crashed your spin scooter going down Cardiac Hill? Or wiped out on an icy sidewalk in South Oakland? Have you ever been hit by a bus crossing Forbes Avenue? Well, you may not have to pay that hospital bill on your own. If you're hurt in an accident, pick up the phone and call Guido at Guerrera Law. Guido Guerrera is a University of Pittsburgh Law School grad, Pitt football superfan, and experienced personal injury attorney who's licensed in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And it is 100% free to call him for consultation on your personal injury case. So the next time you get rear-ended in Oakland rush hour traffic, or if you fall down the stairs at Peters, call Guido. All joking aside, Oakland and the world can be a very dangerous place. If you need legal help, talk to Guido. He'll treat you like a fellow Pitt fan and never like a number. 412-229-7757 is the number to call. That's 412-229-7757 to call Guido. You can also contact Guerrera Law at guerreralaw.com. That's Guerrera. Call Guido today.
Nelly, this has been great. But before we let you go, we have a little segment that we like to do with all of our basketball guests. It's called Full Court Press. We're going to ask you some rapid fire questions, and you can give us some rapid fire answers. Or if you have a story, we love a good story, really just at your pace. But we're ready to go if you are.
Let's do it.
Can't speed up a point guard, so
can't speed me up. Come on now.
Fair. We can try if we want, but it's not going to work. So having said that, the first question is, and this is probably a tough one with this year's squad. Who is your funniest former teammate?
Funniest former teammate goes to Blake Henson. That guy, that's my guy, man. He's crazy. I love him to death. He's crazy.
Favorite spot in Oakland?
To eat?
Whatever you want to do there.
Favorite
Leave it up.
spot in Oakland to eat? I'll go with the chicken restaurant.
You get the spiciest?
No, I can't. I tried it one time. Never again. Mouth was hurting for like 3 days. Never again.
I think they even have a crazy name for it. Is it called like insanely hot?
I think it's called like something Reaper, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I drank hot sauce on the show last week. I'm not going there.
Whew.
If you and your brother played one-on-one right now, what would the final score be?
10-10.
No overtime?
You guys gonna fight before it gets to 11?
Yeah, we'll probably fight at 11.
Flagrant fouls both ways the rest of the way.
Turn into a boxing match.
What is the craziest thing you've seen Nike do in practice? We've all seen the athleticism.
Oh, man. The craziest thing I seen Nike do was he went baseline on somebody and he jumped so high, but he didn't dunk it. He spared him and laid it up. But if you would have seen it, it just looked so. It was a walk on Basin Stevenson. It was pretty. It could have been really, really bad, but because he spared him, it just looked so crazy. That was probably the craziest thing I've seen him do.
Quick aside, we heard a rumor that if he jumps at the NBA Combine, he could break the Combine record for vertical.
I would believe that. I don't know what the record is, but I'm guessing Nike's 43, 44 easy.
I think it's not far from that because I think we heard like 47 and that would be the record, but we did not do our own due diligence. We just wanted to believe it was true.
I believe it, so I'm taking Nike. Jumping, I'm taking Nike against anybody in the country.
I think we might have heard that from Fish, and Fish might have been hyping him up a few inches.
You know how Fish is. So.
All right, who's winning the NBA Finals this year?
Give me the Bucks.
All right, rolling with Giannis.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
rolling with
Last question, probably the toughest, but we're going to hold you to one answer here. What was your favorite moment of the season? It can be personally or it can be as a whole team. Take your pick.
I'm gonna give y'all two for this. I have to give you two.
Okay, we'll give
The
it two.
senior night as a game, as far as everything that the senior night meant, that was my favorite moment. Period. Probably my favorite moment in basketball. Period. Just because how everything happened. But my personal favorite was the North Carolina 3 threes in a row. That was my personal favorite moment I had. That's the most.
We like that too.
Yeah, that's the most alive I've felt in a long time. I was fully there. I can almost remember things I said. Obviously, I can't share those days.
I was literally gonna say, I bet you were talking crazy.
Woo! Crazy.
Well, did you hear what the announcer said right before your first three?
I did.
Yeah, I think he said the
Get
game's
away
about to
from
get away
Pitt.
from Pitt.
It's about to get away. No, it's not.
No, he heard him from the baseline
I heard him.
on the mic. He's like, I don't think so.
That was an all-time mush.
Wow,
that was a great moment. I was losing my mind. You couldn't have missed if you tried.
I couldn't have. But what's crazy is a lot of people don't know this. After I hit the third three, I started cramping up in my calf muscle. I was talking so crazy, I didn't really feel it until I got the ball again. I'm like, oh, I'm cramping. I can't even really jump. That's why I threw the pass next play. It worked out perfectly, though.
Without that cramp, were you pulling up from the logo next
yeah.
possession?
I was going to shoot
Blake
again.
Hinson range.
I don't know where I was going to shoot it from, but I was definitely shooting it, though. For sure.
Blake Hinson range. Yeah, Squid.
Whew. I don't know if I could do that. Blake scares me, some of his shots.
Scares all of us. Poor Coach Capel. He's gonna have a heart attack over there one of these days.
Yeah.
How many times has Capel given one of these when he saw Blake Hinson winding up in a game or in practice and Blake nailed it?
The one I vividly remember is the March Madness game against Mississippi State. That one, oh, I didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, wait. But he made it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, there was like 16 seconds of the shot clock and
like,
just casually.
I was so scared when he took that shot. And it was high stakes. But really, though, when Blake releases the ball, I kind of always think it's going in, though. As soon as it leaves his hand, I'm like, that might go in every single time.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the season finale against Miami. He put that shot up off balance, like one-handed. And when it left his hand, I said, holy shit, this is actually going to go in.
It's about to go in. What's crazy is, I don't know if you guys noticed about Blake. Every time we go to a shoot around, no matter where we're at, any city we touch down in, as soon as he grabs the ball, he's the first person to shoot from half court every time. He's made way more than he should have made. Like, way more than he should have made. He just walks in the gym with a book bag on, to talk to coach, and just flick it up there, and he makes it like at least half the times he shoots it, and it's crazy.
So that's literally in the gym range.
All the time, in the gym range. As soon as he gets in, it's crazy.
We have some little birds that feed us some secrets. They've been playing pickup on the blacktops of Oakland, and they say Blake shows up, goes about 50%, but just rips from 40 feet and doesn't miss.
Half court.
That's the pickup basketball superpower. You don't have to run, you don't have to play defense. You just rip from 40 and no one can cover you.
All right.
Awesome. Well, was that all that we had for
That's it. I think we've taken enough time, and
yeah.
This was one of the best interviews we've done. Bringing in your brother, I know you two planned that. I knew you had that coming. So, but no, man, really, this was great for us three guys who grew up watching Pitt basketball. You're a guy who grew up watching Pitt, man. It was cool to chop it up and talk to someone who's a part of what is just a special run. And once again, we thank you for coming on, but we thank you for everything you've done for the program.
My guy, I appreciate all you guys, man. Thanks for having me on. And hey, if y'all ever want to do it again, let me know.
Oh, we'll take you up on that for sure.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We love our Pitt men.
After that first
guys,
NBA
man.
Summer League game, Summer League game, we'll have you in here.
Let's do
You'll
it.
hit 4 threes in a row.
4 threes, and I'm
Hop on the phone with us.
I'm gonna tell you what I said after these ones.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Best of luck with your training, and hail to Pitt.
Hail to Pitt, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nelly. Hail to Pitt.
All right, guys.